Hey, all right, all right, all right. You're listening to the Dead Man's Tone podcast with your host, Mr. Deadman. The co-hosts, SK Barrett and Tammy G, are not available here because this is 4 o'clock in the damn morning for my side. But why am I doing that? Because I might be a vampire, I think, or at least one of us might be. We have Villimey. I would go by your author name, Mist. Villimey Mist.
Yeah.
And then we have Damascus. Mincemeyer.
Hi there. How
All
is
right.
everybody this fine morning?
I'm on life support, on coffee, pretty much.
I'm just on sipping tea and hoping that the weather is going to be better.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah?
how is the weather there?
It's so goddamn awful.
Wait,
It has been awful since I think December. Has been so many winds and so much sleet, and then it alternates between a blizzard and then a huge rainstorm. So you never expect what kind of weather you're going to get tomorrow or in the next 5 minutes.
okay. And remind everybody again, you live in Iceland, right?
Yes, I do.
Oh, man. So the weather is always cold.
Crap. It's always crap.
Yeah, it's always cold and it's always crappy. And I always laugh at people, especially foreigners, who wish to visit Iceland in January. I just laugh maniacally, like, yeah, that's a really good idea. You get to experience a lot of huge shit.
Why would anybody want to go there to Oh, they must be hard. They must think they're hardcore. Wow.
No, I think it's mostly because they think they're going to see the Northern Lights at that time. And that usually never happens in January.
Wow. I don't know if I could do it. Even if you could see the Northern Lights, then the cold temperature, the cold weather, not my thing. Not my thing at all. I'll stay in this Texas heat.
You're a Texas boy. You're a
Yeah.
Texas
Well-
boy. Of course it's not.
The interesting thing is, though, that I think it's worse to be in New York during the winter than here in Iceland, because New York has a lot of humidity, which usually we don't. We have a lot of dry winters.
Mhm.
But the thing is, if there is wind included in the weather during the winter, then it becomes like 100 times colder. So if there's no wind, it's fine. But if there's wind, which is basically about 98% of the time, it's bad.
Okay. Well, that's bad because it snows there too. But like here in Texas, it's pretty humid for where I'm at in Houston. But it's the worst you're probably gonna get is just a rainy day. A rainy day, and it's kind of cold. That's about it, you know. But man,
How would you classify cold?
our cold is not even close to your cold. Our cold is probably like a summer for you,
Yeah, I think so.
right? It's about perspective, right? Because right now I'm wearing a jacket, and it's probably I don't even know how cold it is right now. I haven't looked. Yeah. So last time you were on, we talked about nocturnal blood. Is that right?
Yes,
That's right.
the first
So-
book in my Nocturnal series.
That's right. That's right. All right.
Right.
So go ahead and remind people about that book real fast.
So it's about Leia Walker, a girl who suffers from anxiety and OCD. And she used to have a friend named Sophie Gardner who kind of disappeared on her 4 years prior to the story. But they reunite after Sophie saves her from a mugger. But the change is that Sophie has returned as a vampire. And it kind of, through something that Sophie did in the story, she kind of forces Leia to go on the run with her. And they travel from Anchorage, Alaska to the Canadian wilderness to find a solution to the problem which Sophie has. And along the way, they kind of meet up with all kinds of awful things like ghouls and songs, which are vampire familiars, and other vampires who are after them.
Oh, I see. But what's so bad about becoming a vampire? That seems like a pretty good deal.
Well,
Yeah,
it seems
definitely.
so, but it depends on how you view it, of course. I mean, a lot of people, they desire the immortality stuff. But kind of, if you go into Leia's point of view, it's kind of like, I don't think it's that good.
They don't want to have to drink anyone's bodily fluids.
Yeah, for that matter, and also, well, in my kind of vampire world, there are so many rules and regulations, and
What?
you probably
So it's
want
like,
to be able to do that.
So it's like the human world, except a lot longer.
Yeah.
Rules and regulations in the vampire world. Okay, wait. What? Okay, well, first, back up. They're worried about drinking bodily fluids. Are they trying to avoid getting Hep C or something? Like, what's going on?
Well, not really that. It's just they're just afraid of getting caught because there are vampire hunters and stuff.
Yeah. But couldn't they? Now, I guess it depends on your vampire lore because vampires have changed. Like your skill set and powers have kind of changed from their beginning to, with various authors had like a twist. But can't they fly, wall jump, climb on walls, have like supervision or it's kind of like mind read and mind control.
Yeah.
Well,
Hypnosis.
Well, my vampires have some of those abilities. They don't have the flying ability, unfortunately, or they can't climb walls because they have pretty sharp claws. They haven't done much of that though, because that would draw attention to them. They also have what I call the vampire's charm. Okay. So if they look into a person's eyes, they can hypnotize them, and basically they control that person. And
does it work in a group setting? Like it could?
No, I don't think so.
Man,
it has to be a one thing.
So it couldn't really be a cult leader.
Well, I mean, cult leaders usually don't draw people with their eyes. They just are charismatic, and most vampires are charismatic, so they wouldn't have any problem with that.
Okay, so
Grigory's pretty charismatic. He can do that.
Oh yeah.
All right, so there's a chance. All right. So you get like a Jonestown scenario with vampires. That would be weird.
That'd be so weird.
Right? But they probably have rules against that. Because you said you have rules. Okay. But who enforces the rules? Who's the rule enforcer in the vampire story?
In the vampire stories, it's usually the elders. They are like the vampires who have lived the longest among all the other vampires. So, for example, Grigori, one of my vampire characters, he is an elder. He has lived for over 600 years. So he knows about all the rules, and he tries to put those rules into the vampires that he kind of governs. So he's also a faction leader.
Okay.
So in this world of mine, there are like factions instead of covens, like with witches or with vampires. I just decided to rename them as factions.
Okay.
So there are like different factions in different in each city or in each country, and these vampires usually go there for for guidance and for getting maybe money to go around, and for housing, and for maybe getting allowance to go to the blood banks and stuff.
Oh wow! Okay.
That's
So
pretty good.
the elders take a very active role. That's
Well, Grigori does. I haven't really mentioned the other elders as much. So because he's been around for 600 years. He really doesn't like to sit around and do nothing.
okay. Now, could they could the younger ones rebel? Be like, no, Dad, I'm not gonna do what you want me to do. I'm not gonna follow these rules.
Yeah, that's what
Actually,
Sophie does.
Sophie does that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, in the prequel that I'm planning to write, she has a hard time struggling. She just struggles with the fact that she has to belong to this kind of group because she has always been a rebel, and she doesn't like people controlling her, and especially what happened to her those 4 years that she wasn't with Leia. She really doesn't want to be anyone's, slave or anything like that.
Right.
So she really rebels against it. And there are vampires who don't belong to factions. They are usually called rogues.
Yeah.
And there is one character, a rogue, that usually just he goes between factions whenever he wants to. He doesn't really align himself with it. He just I need some money. Can I go here? Can you help me? But he doesn't really say like I don't belong to this faction at all. I just drift around. He's a character that will appear in the prequel.
Okay. You have this really thought out. That's good. That's a good
Yeah,
indicator.
well, yeah, that's what happens when it's been in my head for about 80 years.
Right. Right. About 80 years. So you are a vampire.
80 years.
Yeah, I think I might be.
You just slipped up right there. I don't know. The elders might not be pleased about that one. What happens
That
when you make a
especially
mistake?
when I'm spreading their stories.
Yeah. When you make a mistake, what happens? Do they put you in the cage or in a cube or something?
They won't. I won't allow them in.
Oh. Oh, they can't come to Iceland.
You have
It's
to
too
be
cold for them.
invited.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to invite them into the island. Yeah.
So what is with that? Like, what is? Let's talk about like the vampire rules and the vampire rules and how they changed. Like since the very beginning, since Bram Stoker. So it's like
Stroker.
Stroker. It's very early, guys. Very early. Bram Stoker. That's his porn name. Okay. So Bram Stoker. So let's talk about like the very first set, I guess, vampire skills and abilities and how they changed over time and which ones work, which ones don't work. You have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting how some of these, are just superstitions. Especially when you were talking about Bram Stoker's, because this kind of aligns with the new installment from BBC's Dracula. It kind of really explores these myths and legends regarding him,
Right.
and it kind of did it in a really interesting way. Basically, it just told that all of his fears, like his fear of the cross and his fear of the sunlight, are just superstitions that kind of grew into fetishes, into something that he actually believed in, and that belief actually led to him hurting by it. And I thought that was really interesting.
Or in the original novel, Dracula could actually walk around in the daylight.
True.
Yeah,
but it was only when it was like really cloudy, though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and he does that. He does that actually in the BBC show. Whenever it was like really foggy or cloudy, he was just walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is interesting because I don't know if they're aware how ultraviolet light works. It's not like there's clouds. Oh, we're good.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, exactly. It's really how it works.
He could shapeshift in the original too, in the book.
Oh yeah, and he
Most
does that.
vampires can't do that.
Yeah.
That's kind of changed a lot.
Yeah, it was really incorporated. Like he changed into bats, wolves, and I think at some points into flies.
And I think mist and dust. I think at one point.
Yeah. I think that's just added to the mysticism of him. People are so afraid of him that they thought that he could do anything, including change into mist, which is impossible.
Which is interesting on that idea that so a lot of this was superstitions that he built up on himself that he acquired over time, but some of these things he can do, like the transforming to animals or whatever, which we've seen that before in other vampire stuff. I can't think of any movies that have used that, but I can think of a video game, oddly enough, Castlevania. Symphony of the Night, where Alucard could turn into a wolf and Fog, a bat.
Yeah.
The original Fright Night from 1985, they were transforming into like all sorts of weird creatures at the end. Remember that?
That's good.
Yeah. Because remember, there was a vampire character in that named Evil Ed, who was like some teenager, gets turned into a vampire, and then he starts turning into a werewolf at the end, and Roddy McDowall has to kill him.
Mm-hmm. See, if they did that in the series Underworld, that would be I mean, they could turn into like a bat-like creature thing, but that's like...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also in Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they have that. Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of see it here and there. All right. Now, what about the other stuff? Like, all right, other rules like being asked in, like asked for permission. What is that?
I've seen that. I've
see
seen
that a
that.
lot.
I've seen that in a lot of movies and books, especially in the Let the Right One In.
Yeah.
I think that really showed, and I really wish they would have explored that a little bit more. Like, why can't they go inside? I think it might have to do something with like people's privacy. The same with getting drinking people's blood. It might have to do with like you have to acquire my permission to do that.
They have to acquire permission? I mean, well,
Usually not though. But
Yeah.
once the home is basically your home and it's your
Yeah.
sanctuary. So once someone has entered your sanctuary, they are usually allowed to do whatever they want.
interesting. It's that is like, so I can't enter. But what if it's not really your home, right? An apartment isn't really. I can see it's your home, but I mean, you're paying rent. There's a landlord, Or what if you're the roommate of the apartment, and you're not even paying rent, really? You're paying someone else, or maybe you're just there for a stay. Like, how does it work?
That's interesting. I haven't really gone that far with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really been thought out.
Not probably no.
Interesting.
Sleeping in your native soil, that's one you don't see a lot of anymore.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, see,
I think because it's so messy.
Yeah.
it's messy. It's hard
I
to
actually
do. Go ahead.
I wrote one of my short stories that was published last year was called Soil Native and Otherwise. It was about this kid that worked at he worked at like a warehouse, and it was a summer job, and they shipped all these soil shipments from all over the world to different places, and it turns out that their clients are actually vampires. Like in that the stuff in the shipments and shipping containers is soil from all their native places. So, because I think that I kind of like the idea of the native soil. You don't see that very much, so I tried to use that one.
That's true. I think the reason why people don't really do that in modern vampire stories is, like I said, it's messy and you don't really know where to place them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only place you would probably place them, like, oh, we have to find a mausoleum somewhere. Oh yeah, there's.
Yeah.
Right, that is get
John
tricky.
Yeah. John Carpenter's vampires had a little bit of that, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. They had a little bit of that, but they slept in the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking it.
So that was
very
more.
literal.
They were taking the idea of having the soil, but they had to sleep in the earth. And I think Julie Kagawa's stories, vampire stories, it's a young adult vampire story. She also, like the vampires there, they also had to dig under the earth when they had to sleep during the day.
I know the BBC Dracula, which we talked a little bit in passing. They've used that in that series, and he would take it with him in the coffin. It wasn't just that he would be sleeping in a coffin, but that the coffin would have his native soil in it.
Yeah.
I thought that was very, very cool. But it does kind of leave some questions like, wait, how long can you keep your native soil, around with you when you travel, right?
Yeah.
Kind of limiting too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so-
Definitely, because they are sailing on a ship. I mean, how did it not get wet?
Yeah, true.
right? And when of course, for those who haven't seen the series, it's very short, 3 episodes. I try not to spoil much, but of course the ship sinks eventually. But that's not a surprise if you read the book. And the coffin the coffin with the soil and with Dracula in it, it goes deep in the water. Okay, so it doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter if it's drenched or saturated with just ocean water, salt water.
I would still think that it would dissolve over time.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think so too. But it's one of those weird things. Of course, the BBC version even, but I guess, like you said, it revealed in the end that a lot of these things are kind of just superstition in Dracula's head.
Yeah.
That,
Right.
And of course, they explain it like because when he sucks people's bloods, he takes in their traits too. So if these people have built up these irrational fears over time, he'll start actually taking in those fears and believing those fears about himself because they're traits of the people that he's taking blood from. I thought that was kind of interesting.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting too. That was a good explanation of it.
So his paranoia fears are coming from the people he feeds from.
It's kind of like, hubris, what have I done?
Mm-hmm. I like that.
For a powerful guy, he sure has lots of handicaps.
Yeah, that's
weak. I mean, really.
That's the thing, isn't it? About vampires, it's like, okay, it's particularly Dracula. He's like the one. Like, who came before him?
Carmilla.
Well, usually people say he was like the devil made him like this. Mm-hmm. I think there was I think it was called Dracula Rising. It was one movie. They kind of touched upon that. Like there was another vampire who made Dracula, but they didn't really explain what his name was or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, that was kind of like interesting idea.
Well, literary-wise, he wasn't the first vampire. He just was the most popular. Because there was Carmilla before that, and then there was like a lot of from the Penny Dreadfuls. There was like Varney the Vampire, and I think Lord Ruthven from one of I want to say John Porlordy.
Yeah. Interestingly, Lord Ruthven actually appears in BBC's Dracula.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does.
That's cool.
But he's just a normal human.
I watched that. I think I might have missed that. Appears.
He was the one. He was the one in the Demeter in the ship, the one with the young bride.
Oh yeah. Okay, that guy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Which, by the way, Damascus, I think you haven't seen it, but
no, not yet.
I don't want to spoil too much or anything, but what did you think about that series, Villimey?
It was interesting. It was an interesting retelling of the original story. So it had a lot of the old classical elements that you saw that you enjoyed, but then they added a lot of interesting twists to it. Like they kind of paid homage to it, but at the same time they also made it their own.
Right. What you're gonna have to do. I mean,
it's really hard to do that without, insulting a lot of fans, of course. Mm-hmm. And I just really liked how the first episode was really brutal. It was really brutal. I was not expecting that, especially from Moffat, who wrote the screenplay, and I don't think he directed, but he's the one who made the Sherlock episodes. And he hasn't really been, the kind of guy who goes like, hey, let's make this hilariously brutal.
Right? Well, that's one thing I liked about it. It did not hold back. And when it came to gore and brutality. I was thinking brutality and gore, so together I said bore. It's definitely not a bore, thing. Especially the first episode.
The first episode was really good.
Yes. It was essentially just a retelling of the Dracula story that people are kind of familiar with. I think one of the main differences I noticed is that instead of Van Helsing and the nun, they are now one character, and it's like, okay, well, okay, which is interesting, but also like, man, she for a nun, she's very interesting. I was like, hey, why are you nun again?
Well, yeah, I thought it was interesting that they actually, they made Van Helsing a woman.
Yeah.
Because, everyone knows that he was, Dracula's nemesis. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting that they decided to switch the gender around. Like, hey, I mean, women can also do that. But I think they had done that maybe with, in the third episode. If they had maybe not had it connected to Van Helsing, the policewoman.
Yeah, okay. I like the BBC Dracula. I like the first episode. I like the second episode. The third episode is when it's like, it has some problems.
Yeah, yeah,
Some choices were made that are just like, what? You want me to believe that he was underwater for that long? You want me to believe that the ancestor, I guess the next in kin is
Descendant.
like, yeah, descendant.
The
It was a
descendant.
spitting image, like the exact.
Yeah.
It's the same actor. It's the same actress. It's like, come on now. When I first saw it, I was like, wait, how's she still alive? That makes no sense. Is she also a
Yeah.
vampire now? Like, I don't get this.
yeah. Yeah, that was kind of confusing, and also I felt that like the third episode was really rushed. It's like they'd gone to the most of the the juicier bits in the first and the second episode, and then when it's basically because how they were telling it, like he had now landed in England, and in the story, in the original story, I mean, it kind of dragged on, but it was still interesting and suspenseful.
Right.
And it was like they didn't really know what to do with that information in the third episode. So we're like, yeah, well, let's just make it like it's in modern times, and let's just like make Lucy this really slutty person who just really doesn't care about anything, and let's just make Jack this really stupid guy who's pining for Lucy, and he doesn't really have any balls.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, they kind of weren't like that. I mean, Lucy was really interesting in the original stories.
Right.
True.
And I mean, they kind of portrayed the correct thing about her not being fearful of anything, but they did it in a really stupid
She was like
way.
an independent woman.
Yeah, she was a really independent woman, but in this retelling, they kind of made her really vain. Like, I mean, she was vain in the original story, but we're talking about really vain.
She's an Instagram thought. She's an Instagram chick who's like constantly posting selfies in a certain way for the likes, getting all of the likes, anything for the hearts. She was a party girl.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They could have done more with that. And I feel like they also kind of skimped out on Mina as well.
Yeah.
It's like Mina could have been handled a lot better, I think, also.
And what's his name? Renfield. He was like, he comes in and you're like, wait, what? Oh, where was he this whole time?
Yeah.
He
They could have done also more. Like I said, the third episode was really rushed, and they didn't really know what to do with the whole material that was left of the original story.
Yeah.
So the first and the second episode were brilliant, but the third episode, like, you could have maybe turned that into 2 episodes, but okay.
Right.
You want to hold on to that third episode thing? Yeah. Okay, I guess. All right, fine.
Right. I think that would have made it better if they would have maybe had 4 episodes. Hell, they could have had a little bit more. I mean, I guess they took their time with the first 2. The third one had the production quality. It had some weird flaws, some weird things. One the big thing I noticed, just storytelling wise, consistency. Like at the end of the second episode, it makes it look like he just breaks through from the coffin and he gets up. But in the third episode, it makes it look like, wait, no, let's re-examine what happened there. No, people come down to him and open the coffin. They're like, wait, that didn't happen. So now you're retelling what just happened in the second episode.
They're basically retconning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's hard. When that happens, it takes me out of it. It's like, man, you guys couldn't even keep it consistent.
It just feels like, hey, we had this really good idea for second episode, and then they forgot about it, and they decided to do something new in the third episode.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like they could have done a lot more with Lucy, for example. I mean, when Lucy became a vampire in the original story, she attacked children.
Yeah, that's true.
I would have loved to see that.
That would have been cool.
I mean, and see like a hunt of her.
Yeah. No, I don't remember. In the original story, was she also like burned and disfigured?
No.
Oh.
She was still as beautiful. That's how she lured the children to her.
Okay. They just used that beautiful obsession just in a totally different
Exactly,
way.
to increase the vanity thing. And I was like, well, Lucy wasn't that vain, though. I mean, she knew she was pretty. That's why she was, grappling both Jack and the Quinn guy. She knew that.
Right.
But she was kind of like, how would I say, like in the original sense of the femme fatale stereotype.
She's very attractive. She's playing the scene.
Yeah, I mean, she knows it. She knows how to use it. And, she's intelligent. But here, she wasn't really.
She wasn't an Instagram chick. She wasn't trying to do that.
Basically just that. I was like, oh, come on. You can use more than that.
I think their thing was, how do we make it 2020? What's going on in 2020? Which is the biggest
yeah.
Okay, so wait, remind me again, explain to me in like a 5. When did the second episode? That was like 1870 something, right?
1896.
1896. And it goes from 1896 to 2020.
Yeah.
Damascus, how does that work? How do you tell a story when you go from 1896 to 2020?
Not very well.
Right?
That's for sure. Yeah.
You
have to be careful. You have to be careful.
You missed some good points. Yes, some good parts of the world development. You skipped out on some of the biggest wars.
Yeah, no kidding.
The only thing that showed him, like when he was in the water world, he just he drank the blood of some person, and then he just sat behind the TV and just watching the sunset. And he was like, "This is beautiful. I know everything about the world now."
Right.
And you're like, no. Mm-hmm. I mean, I doubt this person that you drank the blood from knew about the world wars and everything, but all right.
Right? Oh, man.
Yeah, well, drink the blood of some dumbass who doesn't know what they're doing.
It was a dumbass. It was a wife beater.
Drinks the blood of some dumbass wife beater. That's right. So if he drinks the blood of some Honey Boo Boo character, it's just gonna be some poorly educated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some dumbass backwoods redneck doesn't know what anything is.
He would totally lose his British accent.
It's kind of like the British equivalent of that.
Oh, that's right. But it wasn't Britain though, so he would still keep his British accent. It would just be like a total dum dum of it. Okay. Which is weird.
Still sound intellectual.
Right. So he drinks the blood of the people that live in the home, but yet he still refers to the home as being like a castle because it has all these great things that he wouldn't have in this day and age. Which is like, wait, if he takes on the characteristics of the people he drinks from, he's not really doing it.
No, right? I don't think the person that he drank from would probably regard it as a castle. He'd be like, oh, this is such a huge dump.
Right. Because even the wife was like, this is a shithole. What are you talking about?
Yeah. She said that. Yeah. She's like, are you kidding me? No.
It's like, I think they live in a trailer or something, or equivalent of it or something. I don't know.
It was just like in the way like up in the rural area, and they had a trailer outside. I was like, why aren't they in the trailer? I think that would have been interesting.
Right. So.
But yeah.
Does your story?
First and second, that was good.
Does Nocturnal Blood, does the Nocturnal series, does it have like these weird little inconsistencies?
I really try not to have any inconsistency.
Okay.
I haven't noticed any. Yeah, as a reader, I haven't noticed any.
Yeah, I'm really methodical about it because I hate inconsistencies. I hate plot holes. Mm-hmm. So I try really, really, really carefully not to have any of those. So if there's anything that is like if people find any plot holes, I will try to explain them. But if not, I mean, you can. It's inevitable. Sometimes there are plot holes. You can't avoid them. But I try to be consistent.
And the sequel comes on Monday, right? I mean,
yeah, it does.
Monday. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's getting some good pre-release reviews, though, I've seen.
Yeah, I'm super relieved about that. I've been so worried that the second book is not going to hold up to the first one. Because the second one doesn't have as much action in the beginning like it did in the first one. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, people are going to be bored about that. Crap.
See, I kind of like that because it was like a counterpunch, It was like a balance to the first one. The first one started out like really wild and crazy right from the get-go, and the second one was very evenly paced. You were worried it was going to be slow, and I thought you had a very measured, cautious hand with it. Like you knew what to reveal when to reveal it. And But when it gets crazy, it gets crazy. You know, it gets good. So
I'm really
I thought
happy.
it was like a true sequel. It extends the story and extends the like elaborates on the characters. Especially, I especially like the Kenji and Grigory, their appearance in there. It's almost like the Odd Couple, the way you paired them up. I thought that was pretty good.
That's cool.
Yeah, I do like their dynamics.
Yeah,
He's Grigori is the stiff, and the Kenji is like, I do what I want.
yeah, that was pretty funny.
I'm looking
Yeah,
at here.
I also like.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no! You can go.
I was just say, I'm looking at Amazon right here. I see that Nocturnal Blood was, it looks like it got a lot of good feedback. It got 17 reviews. It's like a 4.2, 4.3 star. So it's been well received. That's good.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I'm really, really relieved about that. I'm just happy that people like how I write my stories. I mean, it's not a lot of people tend to not like first tense stories for various reasons. It doesn't matter, but I kind of feel like I write stories better like that because I enjoy getting into almost becoming that person who I'm writing
about. It puts you
about.
in the moment. It puts you in the moment.
And it's just I enjoy that people don't they don't really like the typical heroine because Leia definitely isn't.
Right.
True.
Okay.
So I'm happy about that.
Okay. And Damascus, you said she received some good pre-release reviews.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
From what I've seen.
So Villimey, tell us about that.
About the second book?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nocturnal Farm, that's the name of the second book.
Okay.
It's basically a continuation of Nocturnal Farm. So Leia is still trying to discover more about the vampires. Even though, despite what happened to her in the first book. And you can clearly see that what happened in the first book has kind of affected her. She has trouble, sometimes with sleeping. She has signs of PTSD, but she still is trying to live her life like she used to be. And there are outside of her own city, Anchorage, she's been hearing news of disappearances in Europe, especially. But she doesn't really. She's trying not to get that. She tries not to worry about that because it's not really of her concern. But she can, in the back of her mind, she's like, I'm pretty sure it's vampires.
Right.
And then the story really starts to move when her little brother Nathan, he goes on a class trip to Amsterdam in the Netherlands.
All right.
And suddenly he disappears. There's no word from him, and she is convinced that vampires are behind it, especially when she sees a damning evidence from one of the photos he has taken during his trip.
Yeah.
So she seeks the help of Grigori, the vampire elder, and Kenji. She basically just tells them that she's going to Amsterdam, she's going to find her brother, and whether they like it or not, they're coming with him. With her.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they travel to Amsterdam and they try to find her brother, but really she gets really frustrated with the fact that it's not going fast enough. Like her vampire, like Grigori and Kenji, they're not really doing their part. She feels like it's not fast enough because she's always worried that he might be dead or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she enlists the help of vampire hunters as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she's kind of struggles with the fact of keeping both of those sides unaware of each other. And
it's a delicate balancing act.
Yeah. It's a really hard balancing act for her, especially for her, because she's not a really good liar.
Mm-hmm.
Do the elders, do they have any problems with the vampires working with vampire hunters?
That's the thing, they don't know.
But if they did.
But if they did, they'd be pissed.
Ah.
Yeah.
Especially with this particular one of the particular hunters, Eliza. She's a German vampire hunter. She really fucking hates vampires.
Yeah, she does.
And she will just kill any vampires she sees inside, regardless of what's happening.
The visual of her was very, very cool. Enjoyed drawing that. That was really cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed coming up with her. I just wanted someone who is like always grumpy all the time, doesn't really smile much, and swears a lot in German.
That's cool. I like that. All right.
And during that time, while she's searching for her brother, she also discovers a lot of dark secrets within the vampire world.
Oh, really? Are we talking about like what's the secrets we're talking about? Like Weinstein level secrets, or like killer sort of secrets?
Well, it's more. It kind of alludes to the title of the story. I mentioned in the first book that the reason Sophie didn't want to join Gregory's faction was because he had considered of opening up a farm.
A farm.
A human
farm.
Yes. Basically, where they would harvest humans for blood.
Kind of like a pig farm, where it's like you're cramped in small cages. Yeah. Okay. Shitting on each other. Okay.
Yeah, and Sophie, despite that, didn't like that idea. So that was the reason why she didn't join Gregory's faction. Of course, he didn't do it. He like he says in the second book, he was like, I considered it. I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, as a vampire, I could see how a vampire would think that's a good idea. I mean, it's just food.
Sure.
You know.
And
little Happy Meals right there.
Yeah. And there is, they discovered that there is a farm underneath the streets of Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
And that and that can lead to disastrous consequences. And then there's also another threat looming in the within the streets. They might see a vampire that is immune to daylight.
Oh wow! So like a daywalker. All right.
A daywalker, yeah.
Interesting. Is it like a half vampire, half human sort of thing, or is it just like it's like Blade?
No, it's not like that. It's actually like a super soldier.
Oh. Okay.
It's like a human, how's it called again? Genetically engineered.
Oh, like Resident Evil stuff. Like it's like some sort of virus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I think that's what China tried to do, and they messed up. I don't know.
Yeah. They did.
We try to engineer something, but here's Corona. It doesn't. It's not as good as the beer. It's just have fun, guys.
Like it's like pneumonia, but worse. But you.
Yeah. You know what? Which comes to mind. So, in your vampire series, what happens if they take blood from someone who's sick?
They just. Well, I briefly touched upon that subject in the first book when Sophie usually was drinking blood from addicts.
Yeah,
and she mentioned that the blood was really bad.
Yeah, it didn't taste good.
And I think with the similar, if they take this blood of someone who's sick, I think they would just find the blood really disgusting.
Okay.
Yes.
But I don't think they would get sick as well because, their own vampire blood is something that the humans or the vampire familiars songs, they seek. Because a drop of of the vampire blood gives them, like, for a brief time, not like immortal aspects, but like more like superhuman strength, and they don't get sick and stuff like that.
Interesting. Revitalizes them in a way. Okay.
Yeah. And that in turn, of course, because their blood is so addicting, that's why the vampires are hesitant to give the songs any of it.
Right.
Are
there different flavors to the blood? Like, do they prefer blood types?
Yeah. I said that blood type AB is because it's most rarest. It's kind of like the most finest wine. And then I also touched upon the subject in the second book that virgin blood is also really, really, really sweet.
Ooh.
Of course.
So they really crave that as well. They go almost go crazy if they sense blood. And also children's blood and baby blood is one of the best.
Of course, why not?
Oh wait, in your nocturnal farm, are there babies in there too?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty hardcore, man. I like that.
I know. I want people to be repulsed by them.
Why is a vampire carrying a baby around? Oh, that's so cute. Oh no, it's a snack.
Wait, you got to make them scary again. See, that's the thing. It's up to people like us to make them scary again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Twilight did a lot of damage.
It did. We had to recover. From that. You know, out of the different. Go ahead.
I was going to say I'd be remiss if I didn't say that I did some illustrations for this book. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta see some.
And they look so good on the book. It looks so good.
Cool.
Yeah, when I search your name, Villimey, I see some like anime style drawings. I'm not sure if that's related to you or connected to you or some sort of avatar.
Oh yeah, that's me. That's my drawing style.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Would you?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Well, a lot of people have been asking why I shouldn't put my own drawings in my book. But the thing is, my drawing style, like I said, is too anime and too cutesy for my style of writing. So it wouldn't really blend that well.
Okay.
But usually what I do, especially when I'm creating characters, I tend to draw them first.
Yeah.
So when I first drew Leia and Sophie, after I drew them, the story just popped out of itself.
Right. Makes sense.
That was a big help when I was illustrating to be able to see like what you actually had in mind from like use your drawings to actually see what you visualized as to them to look like.
Yeah. I know I gave you a hard time about Adam.
Yeah.
You messed up Adam?
I didn't mess it up. But she was very particular about what she wanted. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you had your choice, would you rather have a Nocturnal Farm become like a movie or TV series or an anime?
Well, I'd really like to see it as an anime, actually, because in anime, they can go way beyond.
Yeah.
So they can go a lot brutal. I mean, for example, if Nocturnal Farm would be made into a series or a movie, they probably wouldn't allow the baby thing.
Right. Probably not.
Yeah.
And they probably wouldn't allow the execution style that Adam does to one vampire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Netflix is getting kind of, I guess if you want to do it, you could probably show it in one way or the other, kind of hint at it. But
yeah.
But anime, you won't really have that problem. You just go right into it. Hell, you could probably show it. You could just have it where it just rips a baby in half. Drink it like a Capri Sun or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember there's one anime series that is called Blood Sea.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, it's really, really good. It's based on the Blood, the vampire series, about this vampire called Saya. But it's kind of a retelling, basically. And it's also drawn in the style of Clamp, who made Cardcaptor Sakura. Mm-hmm. It's a really cute style.
Yeah, that is a cutesy style.
It's a really cutesy style. But they also made it super brutal. And I managed to see the non-censored version of it. Mm-hmm. And it was really, really brutal. They showed everything there.
Oh man!
Before, and that was of course before they censored it. So now, if you want to watch it, it's probably going to be hard to see it. But yeah, that was like, oh, I did not know that you were going to go that route. Awesome.
That's cool. I'm gonna check that one out.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's really good.
Okay. So when does Nocturnal Farm come out officially?
It comes out actually this Monday on January 27th.
Okay. And it's going to be in Kindle and paperback?
Yes.
Okay. Of course, people can get it on Amazon. Is it going to be anywhere else?
Well, I'm probably gonna put it in my local comic book store here in Iceland.
Oh, that's
Okay.
cool.
But I haven't really thought that for whether I should put it in other bookstores in the States. I just need to see. I'm still kind of new at this whole marketing thing, so I just need to see if people are interested in that.
Okay. That's good.
I like the ancillary material you've got, like the stickers and the bookmarks and stuff. That looks really cool.
Oh yeah. I'm actually gonna hold book release giveaway soon.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
gonna throw out a signed copy of the book, plus some stickers and the bookmarks that I had made and stuff.
And the sticker is your artwork, if I remember correctly.
Yes. The recent one that I just had made is a chibi version of Leia,
Yeah.
and that's in my style. It's one of the few that I actually really like that I drew.
That's cool. You said
Just
chibi?
like- Yeah, chibi means like this.
The cute style.
Yeah, the super
Yeah, the
cute.
cute
The
stuff.
super cute,
Yeah.
small.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I used to be a weeb a little bit. It's not so much. It's been some years, but you don't actually ever really lose it. It's still in you.
Oh yeah, it's definitely still in you. You've just matured around it.
Yeah. That's a good way to say it. you know? Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
Because there's always usually some kind of events going around, and when I walk around and I see the young weeps, I kind of get a little bit cringy, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like, well, I was kind of like that at the same age, so it should be fine.
I don't know. Did you ever go to the point to where you're gonna Naruto run into an Area 51 base?
I actually wasn't that far into it, thankfully.
I've always
But
been a
no,
standard.
but it's like it's nice. They're living in that fantasy. We should just let them.
Right.
I
Okay.
wasn't really a wee, but I was like a standard issue. I was like a card-carrying comic book dork for many years. So
See,
Yeah.
that's a whole other thing too. Man, comic
yeah, I was a
fanboys.
fanboy. Yeah, I was a fanboy hardcore. I still kind of am, but I kind of lost track in the past year or two. But I just
Yeah,
love
it's
the.
Yeah, it's the same with me and anime. There are so many things going on, and people are asking me like, "Have you watched this one?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
"The which one now?"
like yeah, what? No. But
It's
yeah,
like
I
a
was-
lot of people have been asking me about Vinland Saga,
Mhm.
which is a manga and anime that actually starts in Iceland,
Ooh, wow.
That's cool.
and it's actually I think I would call it an autobiography story, basically, because it's about Thorfinn Karlsefni. It's the guy, one of the guys who
Discovered Iceland, right?
who actually discovered Vinland.
Oh,
America.
okay.
So it's Leifur Eriksson is in it, Leif the Lucky, or as you call it. Yeah, you call it Leif. I don't know why. His name is Leifur. And it's
Because we're
basically
eating
about
soup every-
it's basically about Thorfinn as he's abducted as a child by one Danish mercenary. Like the Danish mercenary kills his father and abducts him and trains him to become this ruthless warrior, while Thorfinn vows vengeance against him. And it basically takes him across Denmark and England, and it's goes through the wars versus Denmark and England. It's really good,
Oh,
and
that's
it's
cool.
really brutal as well. So I recommend it.
That is cool.
Yeah, they have also a lot of the Icelandic names, and I really find it funny when I when you listen to Japanese people pronounce the Icelandic names.
That has to be fun.
It's
Is it,
like
Oh, yeah.
good enough, I guess.
they try. They try. You know.
They try, yes.
No, I didn't even try. I just gave up. I just said missed. I went by your author.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so we have a vampire trivia round 2 planned. Is it right, Damascus? Okay.
That's right.
Absolutely. Are we
Absolutely.
ready for this? Can we do this, Villimey?
I don't know if we can, but yeah, let's just do it.
Okay, I think
Alright.
last time, it's not about
You lost
winning.
by
Villimey.
half.
I lost by half a
You
point.
lost about half a point. Half
Yeah.
a freaking point, man.
Just remember, man, it's not about winning. It's about having a good time. That's what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's not about winning. Like when we were doing the Apocalypse game last week. It's not about winning, man.
Well,
You were into it, man.
yeah. Well, okay. You get me and Tammy G on the same show, and we feed off each other like that. It's like we just functional completely, but I like it. Anyway, all All right, let's do this. Vampire trivia.
All right, let's do it.
All right, round 2. There's 25 questions. This time they're multiple choice and true and false, okay?
Okay.
And it ranges from everything from old vampire folklore to movies, TV shows. It's pretty much it's a potpourri of vampire stuff. And actually, when I was doing research for this, I actually research on my games. Okay, seriously. But when I was doing research for this, I found something very interesting in this old book about vampire folklore from Iceland, actually. But I don't know how to pronounce some of the words. Okay, how do you pronounce it? Okay, it's spelled Eyrbygggia. How the hell do you pronounce that?
What now?
Yeah, it's the Eyrbyggja saga. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Eirverjus. You might need to
Okay.
type it up for me so I can see it.
Oh.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Okay.
it says in this book, it says this saga, for example, I'm going to mispronounce every name here, okay?
Okay.
Thorolf, an early settler of the island, reappeared. Cattle that went near his tomb became mad and died. His hauntings at home caused his wife's death. His wanderings were stopped for a while by the removal of his body to a new location, but he returned, and finally his new tomb was opened and his body burned and ashes scattered. The Grettis saga?
Grettis. Yeah, it's Gloomer.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. Reported the decapitation of Kar, another Icelander, whose head was laid in his thigh, and of Glam, who was both decapitated and burned. Glam was a strong man who had hated his former employer, killing his cattle and driving off members of his household. Glam finally was beaten in a fight with a visiting hero, Grettir?
Grettir, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gloomer. Well, it's funny that they consider it to be a vampire folklore because we just called them draugur.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's more associated with the draugur folklore.
The druid.
So
Interesting.
draugur is you pronounce it draugur.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
draugur is basically kind of like a zombie, but with his senses intact.
Mm.
Interesting.
Wait, isn't that kind of like what a vampire? Because it's undead,
Yeah, I mean-
right?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it like how they explored it in for example, again in BBC's Dracula, like they're like the vampires that Dracula produced were, in my opinion, more like draugur. Just like they were decomposing, they were still dead, but still had their senses intact and their personalities and stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
So for
It
me,
is.
I felt more connected to the draugur folklore than the vampire folklore.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, that was an interesting little bit that I found in there.
Okay.
It's-
All right.
Right.
So are we ready? Let's do this.
We are
Yep.
ready. Okay, 25 questions. Everybody get ready. World Cup edition, round 2. Let's see which nation is the best.
America.
All right.
There we go.
All right. Question number 1. In Albania, there is a belief in the Striga, a female vampire that would live undetected in the community. Local lore claimed that fastening a cross of pig bones to a home's door would reveal the Striga's identity by causing her to do what when she passed by it? A. Burst into flames. B. Vomit the blood of her victims. Or C. Turn her stomach inside out.
A.
I think it's B.
It's B.
Oh,
Vomit the blood of her victims.
dang it.
And
was
need
going
I,
for
need I remind everybody here? Are we doing the if you lose a point?
Oh,
We're doing
no.
that again?
No, that
No?
was too much to keep up with.
Okay.
No, we're just keep it basic.
Okay. Too early for that, right?
Yeah. I'm not keeping track of the
Okay.
score.
I'll keep track.
Okay.
Okay. There's one for missed.
I was
Okay.
looking for explosive. Dang it. Okay.
An interesting side note, the villagers would later use the vomited blood as an amulet against witches. So, there you go.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
So it's
Yeah, no
happened
shit.
before then. It's happened
Probably.
somehow. Okay.
I guess
Weird.
in some way, shape, or form, somebody shoot up blood, and somebody was like, "Hey, there must be a vampire. Let's keep the blood and use it somehow." Okay. You know, people are weird, man. Their beliefs are so strange. I mean, if you look at this stuff.
Yep.
I mean.
Yep. Okay.
All beliefs are strange in some way, shape, or form.
Right?
Right. All right. Question 2. In the 1985 horror comedy, Once Bitten, Jim Carrey foils the plan of a sultry undead seductress seeking to turn him into a vampire. How? A. Having sex with his girlfriend in a coffin. B. Sacrificing a cat to the devil. Or C. Dressing up as Bela Lugosi and staking her from behind.
A?
I'm going to say C because that's hilarious.
Actually, it's A.
Oh, yeah. Got it.
I didn't even know Jim Carrey was in a vampire movie.
It was his very first movie, actually.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
And Nicolas Cage was in one too.
Yeah,
What film hasn't Nicolas Cage been in?
no shit. Yeah, there's a point at the end of the movie. Yeah, there's a point at the end of the movie where, like, the whole thing is the vampire wants, like, a virgin's blood. And so she, like, starts putting, like, she, like, hypnotizes him, starts turning into a half vampire. And at the end of the movie, his girlfriend convinces him to have sex with her in the vampire's coffin. And then the vampire's like, "No, you foiled my plan." And she goes, "It was only like 2 minutes. It couldn't have been good."
Right?
Yeah.
That's
All
good.
right. Yeah. All right. Question 3. How many times did Christopher Lee portray Dracula on screen? A. 7, B. 10, or C. 12?
Ooh,
B.
B? I'll go B too.
It's B.
Oh, look at that.
10 times.
Okay.
I guess you both get a point there.
Look at that.
He was actually in 7 Hammer films. The Horror of Dracula from 1958, Dracula the Prince of Darkness from 1965, Dracula Has Risen from His Grave in 1968, Taste the Blood of Dracula in 1969, Scars of Dracula in 1970, Dracula AD 1972, and the last Hammer film he did was The Satanic Rites of Dracula in 1973. But he was also in 3 non-Hammer films portraying Dracula. Jess Franco's Count Dracula in 1970, the Jerry Lewis film One More Time, and Eduardo Moladino's Dracula and Son in 1976. So I think he didn't like the role because he felt he was being typecast, and after all that, I was like, I think he was probably right.
Yeah. But now everyone kind of refers to him as Saruman right nowadays.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, he's going to get typecast whether he liked it or not, the poor thing.
So we are now tied. Okay. Question 4. In Romanian folklore, there are several ways to become a vampire. Which of the following is not one of them? A. Having a cat jump over your corpse prior to burial. B. Being the 7th child of the same sex within one family. Or C. Being the surviving twin when the living... Okay. Being the surviving twin when the sibling died at birth.
I'm going to go with... So which one's not?
Correct. Which
Okay.
one's not?
One's not.
The cat might be one. I don't know. Cats are always blamed for everything.
That's true.
They don't like cats.
Especially black cats, which is horrible.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'm going to go with C. That one's probably not true. But I'm not sure. I'm just guessing.
How should I say? Can I hear it again? I didn't hear the B one.
B is being the 7th child of the same sex within one family.
I think it's that because that's more with Christian religion.
Okay. The answer is actually C.
Oh,
Being the
yeah.
surviving twin. Yeah.
Oh, the C? Damn it.
Yes.
Don't worry, Villimey. It's not about winning. It's not about winning.
No.
at all.
Yeah.
Says the American.
Yeah, right. I say that with a smile. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're very competitive.
Yeah.
And we take little wins all the way. Okay.
It's that Wild West in us. I think we've got that sort of I don't know, it's a weird manifest destiny thing.
Yeah. Well, our ancestors, man. It's
Yeah.
in us.
Which-
A bunch of fighters. We kicked the Brits out. We're like, this is our place now. I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway.
But yes, having a cat jump over your corpse for the burial and being the 7th child with the same sex within one family were both reason to believe how you can become a vampire, strangely enough. So
That's interesting because usually in Christian religion, being the seventh, for example, being the seventh son of the seventh son is really regarded as a high thing.
yeah.
And
All
usually
right.
the Romanians are really religious.
Yeah, true. Okay.
I
Question
went to
number
Romania.
5.
I went to
Oh, did
Romania
you?
in March. Yeah, March
Oh.
2 years ago.
Oh,
I went with a friend there, and like the churches there are huge, and they're always decorated with they're always painted with
that-
gold.
where's the Bone Church? Is that
The Bone
Romania?
Church is in Budapest.
Okay, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's in Prague. It's in Prague.
Okay.
Yeah. But I actually went and I visited Vlad's castle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did.
Whoa.
It
Wow.
was not the most best setting though because I went during March, and I
Yeah.
thought that it would be a nice weather, but it turns out that I actually landed at the time that there was a blizzard. So walking there in snow was not nice. It's like I had come from this goddamn place that snows all the time. I was trying to escape from it. God freaking damn it.
There's no
I like
escape.
that.
Maybe you brought it with you. Maybe you're like Storm from the X-Men.
I might be cursed with it.
Oh, I love that.
All right. What's the
All
next
right.
question?
All right, question 5. Which iconic 80s vampire film featured the advertising tagline, "Sleep all day, party all night, never grow old, never die, it's fun to be a vampire"? A. Fright Night. B. The Lost Boys. Or C. My Best Friend is a Vampire.
I think it's Fright Night.
Hey.
No, Lost Boys.
Lost Boys?
Gotta go with the first answer.
Hey.
First answer is given.
Okay, then Fright Night, yeah.
All right. Mr. Deadman?
Oh, no. Yeah, I said A.
Both wrong. It's the Lost Boys.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, God damn it, it was Lost Boys.
All right. Number 6. The 1922 silent German film Nosferatu was initially intended to be a straightforward cinematic adaptation of Dracula. What prompted filmmakers to alter the story? A. The death of original director Frederick Renault. B. Failure of the film to pass the censor board in Nazi Germany. Or C. A copyright infringement lawsuit filed by Bram Stoker's widow.
C. And it was bullshit. But, okay. C.
Yeah, see, she was really adamant about this.
Yeah,
Yep.
she was.
You are both correct.
It was not different enough, huh?
Yeah, that's right. All right. Number 7. Certain regions in the Balkans believe what objects are susceptible to becoming vampires? What inanimate objects are susceptible to becoming vampires? A. Pumpkins and watermelons. B. Clocks and watches. Or C. Dolls and puppets.
Wait, repeat that again?
What?
Okay. Certain regions in the Balkans believe
Okay.
that what inanimate objects are susceptible to becoming vampires? A. Pumpkins and watermelons. B. Clocks and watches. Or C. Dolls and puppets.
Well, I want to say dolls and puppets because I can't imagine a pumpkin sucking your blood or a clock sucking your blood.
That's comedy horror just right up the alley there.
Right?
Oh, isn't it?
How do you
It's a really bad B movie, but so bad that it's legendary.
You like that Charlie Brown the Great Pumpkin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'll go C.
Okay, you're going with C. Villimey?
Yeah, I think I'm going C as well.
You're both wrong. It's actually pumpkins and watermelons.
It is pumpkins. What?
Pumpkins and watermelons are believed to become vampires if they're left out longer than 10 days or are not consumed by Christmas. A drop of blood on the fruit's skin is a sign it's about to turn into a vampire, but they are not feared as they have no teeth.
Oh,
There we go.
okay.
People just look at it and they're like, "Oh, such a cute little thing."
Oh, here in Houston, you can't keep it. You can't keep a pumpkin out longer than a day without it dying. So I don't. Well,
Yeah.
all right.
Or some asshole coming by and smashing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now that we've discovered undead pumpkins, let's move on to the next question.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Number 8. According to Greek legend, a child born between Christmas and Twelfth Night was destined to become a Callisantrios, a vampire that would tear victims to shred with its talon-like fingernails. Parents of those born during this time did what in the belief that it would prevent the transformation? A. Dangle the child over a fire until its toenails were singed. B. Pierce the child's stomach with an iron needle. Or C. Repeatedly dunk the child in holy water.
Maybe holy water.
Could I hear it again?
The question?
The answers.
Okay. A. Dangle the child over a fire until its toenails were singed. B. Pierce the child's stomach with an iron needle. Or C. Repeatedly dunk the child in holy water.
Well, the Greeks were kind of brutal, so I'm going to say B.
And Mr. Deadman, you said C?
Yeah, but Greeks, they're not gonna just use holy water. They might use. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go B2 because why would you dangle someone over fire? Why don't you just? Well, yeah, I'm not. Okay, yeah, I'll go B.
You're both wrong. Actually, they did dangle it over fire.
Really?
Wow.
They did. They believe that they burned off. They believe that they burned off the nails, that they wouldn't grow into the talons, and they wouldn't be able to tear anyone apart.
Ah.
So,
All right.
no points for that one.
Nope.
Damn.
All right. So far, we're 4-3. Mr. Deadman, you're in the lead.
Okay.
America's looking good at the moment.
For now.
For now. Okay. Number 9. According to Buffy the Vampire Slayer creator Joss Whedon, the villainous vampiric couple Spike and Drusilla were based on what real-life rock and roll couple? A. Sid Vicious and Nancy Spungen. B. Tommy Lee and Heather Locklear. Or C. Marilyn Manson and Rose McGowan.
A.
I was going to say A too. It's more the most the recent one.
You're both correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's actually not the most recent one. They were from the 1970s. Sid Vicious died in 1978.
Well, I mean, yeah. But it's the one that I would kind of connect to them the most. I mean, their relationship was basically like that.
It was. It was indeed. Okay. Number 10. Which of these popular vampire anime was released first? A. Hellsing. B. Trinity Blood. Or C. Blood the Last Vampire.
Blood the Last Vampire. C.
That was released before Helsing? You know what? I'll go with that too. I'll follow her lead on this one. C.
Actually, you're both correct. It is C.
Yep.
It was released in 2000. Hellsing was released in 2001, and Trinity Blood was released in 2005.
Yep.
Okay.
I will give you a bonus point. Oh, wait, no. Damn it. Never mind. How with the bonus point? I just told you that. I was going to give you a bonus point if you could tell me what the release order was. Never mind. Fuck that. I'll just give you a bonus point anyway.
Oh, look at that. Thank you.
There we go. I'm nothing if not fair. All right,
fair.
Number 11. Number 11. Between 1967 and 1983, there was widespread media coverage concerning alleged sightings of an actual vampire in what famous cemetery? A. Highgate Cemetery in London, England. B. St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 in New Orleans. Or C. Arlington National Cemetery in Arlington, Virginia.
New Orleans? Because that'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that too.
Actually, you're both wrong. You needed that extra point. It was Highgate Cemetery in London, England.
Was it in England?
It was. Sean Manchester, a Catholic priest and founder of the Vampire Research Society, investigated the phenomenon and even wrote a book about it. It was, yeah.
Interesting.
Because yeah, I would think that would be really, popular sighting to see in New Orleans. But, the English, they're like, meh, we don't care.
Yeah. All right.
Or at least they wouldn't really project it as much.
True. All right. Number 12. Which of these vampire-oriented television shows was not based on a series of novels? A. True Blood. B. The Vampire Diaries. Or C. Kindred the Embraced.
Kindred the Embraced. C.
C.
All right. You're both correct.
Nice.
Kindred the Embraced was actually based on the role-playing game Vampire the Masquerade.
Mm.
All right. Okay. Number 13. New York Times film reviewer Janet Maslin wrote of this now classic vampire film. Though some of the tricks are entertainingly staged, the film loses its clever edge when its action heats up so gruesomely and exploitatively that there's no time for talk. What movie is she referring to? A. From Dusk Till Dawn. B. Blade. Or C. 30 Days of Night.
I would say A.
Wait, repeat the
Dusk Till
question
Dawn.
again?
Okay. New York Times film reviewer Janet Maslin wrote of this now classic vampire film. Though some of the tricks are entertainingly staged, the film loses its clever edge when its action heats up so gruesomely and exploitatively that there's no time for talk.
Yeah, it's From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah. It heats up quite a bit. It's either going to be that one or C. Not Blade. I'll go A.
Okay. You're both right. It's From Dusk Till Dawn.
Okay.
Both of you are doing very well so far.
Yeah. Better
How
than
could
last
you
time.
not like? How could you not like the brutality of it? It was so hilariously brutal.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
I mean, the guy playing the corpse guitar.
I thought Sex Machine was funny.
Sex Machine was
Sex
hilarious,
Machine.
man.
Favorite.
It's hilarious,
He was
man.
my favorite character.
He had a dick gun. That was great.
Okay. Number 14. Which is not a term for a vampire in German folklore? A. Nachzerner. B. Blautsauger. Or C. Wumpscut.
C?
Can I hear them again?
Okay. A. Nachzerner. B. Blautsauger. Or C. Wumpscut.
Let's see.
You're both correct.
I even used Blautsauger in Nocturnal Flamme.
But does it mean bloodsucker or something?
Yeah, Bloodsucker.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
I don't know German,
Yeah,
but
there
I could figure that one out.
Yeah, there were 4 prominent vampire types in German folklore. The Nachzerner, which is the night waster, Blautsauger, the bloodsucker, Nachttoter, which is the night killer, and the Neon Toter, the killer of 9. Because they called it the killer of 9 because it took a dead body 9 days to turn into one.
Ah.
But
okay.
Wumpscut is actually the name of a German music band, so that was me.
Okay.
Okay.
Of course. Okay, number 15. Despite playing in numerous vampire roles during his career, Bela Lugosi only played his iconic Dracula role twice. First in the original 1931 film, and then in which Universal sequel? A. Son of Dracula. B. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Or C. The House of Dracula.
Could I hear the answers again?
A. Son of Dracula. B. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Or C. The House of Dracula.
I'm gonna say
Not sure. You know what? I'll go C.
I'll go B.
Okay. It's actually B. Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I did that one on purpose for Villimey.
Did you know?
Yeah, actually, in Son of Dracula was released in Actually, the very first sequel to that movie was in 1936. It was called Dracula's Daughters, and there actually was no Dracula in it. It was just female vampires.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second sequel was Son of Dracula in 1943 that had Lon Chaney Jr. as the vampire. And House of Dracula was in 1945 with John Carradine. And it wasn't until 1948 when Bela Lugosi returned as Dracula in Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein.
Okay.
And he was buried in his cape, but not by his own request. his wife thought he would be interested in being buried in his cave. So kind of a misnomer that he requested to be buried in his cave.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
a little bit of trivia there.
Look at that. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Number 16. When translated into English, Transylvania means what? A, the land beyond the forest. B, the land of the dead. Or C, the land of 100 bloody days.
Pennsylvania. I'd go with A.
Can I hear some of the answers again?
Okay. A, the land beyond the forest. B, the land of the dead. Or C, the land of 100 bloody days.
I was going to see A.
You said A also, Mr. Deadman, right?
Right.
You're both correct. It is A.
Right. Good. Awesome.
Oh, it is covered by forest. There's like so many trees.
Mm-hmm. Easier to hide in.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the tower of the castle and I basically just saw mountains and trees.
Wow.
Interesting. All right. Number 17. Which vampiric character for children was created using elements of actual East European undead folklore? A, Count Duckula. B, Banicula. Or C, Count Von Count.
I think Count Duckula.
Yeah, I'll go with that one too.
You're both wrong. It was Count Von Count from Sesame Street.
Damn it.
Oh, damn.
Oh, I was.
Yeah, of course, because he has
Count.
OTD. He has to count.
Yes, because one way to supposedly deter vampires to throw seeds in their path and they'll be compelled to stop and count them.
Yes.
So, yes.
They did that in one X-File episode.
That's right. Oh, that's my favorite X-Files episode. Mulder throws the seeds, and then when the vampire pizza delivery boy's like, man, you're in big trouble. He stops.
Yeah, he's just like, oh man, why'd you have to do that? And then he just slides on the floor and just starts counting.
That's cool.
I
missed that episode. I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Also notable because Scully has to do this autopsy and the intestines go sliding out of the tray.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember that.
Okay. Okay, number 18. In Indonesian folklore, the Layak, a shape-shifting vampire, was easily identified by what unusual features? A, an abnormally long tongue to suck blood from fetuses and newborn babies. B, an abnormally large mouth filled with tiger's teeth. Or B, an abnormally large penis.
A.
A.
The tongue.
Yes, it is A.
I remember that because it was in one Supernatural episode.
And come on, it's not going to be
also
C.
had.
It's not like I wrote this monster. Here now.
Yes, it had a levitating head with its internal organs hanging from the severed neck. And if the Layak can't get a chance to eat babies, it'll drink the blood of freshly buried corpses instead. So it's a very unusual creature. Okay, we're 11-12 now. Villimey's in the lead by 1 point.
Got to change that.
Okay. Number 19. What was the original title of Stephen King's vampire novel, Salem's Lot? A, One for the Road. B, Second Coming. Or C, The Plague House.
The Plague House? Or the Playhouse?
Plague House.
Second Coming.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm going to say it's Second Coming as well.
You're both correct.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Nice.
It's totally guessed.
Yep. One for the Road actually was a Stephen King vampire story. The Plague House was, I can't remember, someone else's story, but it wasn't his.
Right.
All right. Let's see, number 20. Put these 3 Guillermo del Toro vampire projects in order by year of release. 1, The Strain. 2, Chronos. Or and 3, Blade 2.
Which one came first? Are you asking that?
Put them in order. Put them in order of release.
Oh,
What are the movies again?
Okay. The Strain,
Strain.
Chronos, and Blade 2.
Blade 2. Kronos and the Strain.
Wrong.
I'm gonna say Chronos, Blade 2, and The Strain.
That's actually correct.
Okay.
Chronos was released in 1992. Blade 2 was released in 2002, and the Strain television show came on in 2014.
Damn. I don't know. Come on, America.
So
come on.
Which one? Did I?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now, from here on out, they're true or false. Okay? All right. True or false? Mermaids can become vampires.
Why wouldn't they? Why couldn't they? Is like some sort of folklore saying that they can't?
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, they've said that they eat people, so.
It is true. According to folklore, they suck the breath from their victims instead of blood.
All right.
I love that I've been seeing now that a lot of people have gone back to how vicious mermaids are. It's like they're going away from the Disney adaptation of mermaids being all cutesy and stuff, and they're now like, nope, they're vicious creatures who eat people.
Yes, that's what they need to do.
Yeah. I think that started with that old Tom Hanks movie Splash with Daryl Hannah as the mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
That's where all that started with the cutesy mermaid stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Number 22. True or false? The 2003 motion picture Underworld was the first vampire film shot entirely on location in Transylvania.
That can't be true.
That's false.
False.
You're both correct. The 1991 Full Moon production Subspecies, featuring Anders Hove as a vampire rat, who was the first horror movie shot entirely on location in Transylvania after the fall of communism.
Huh. All right.
All right. Number 23. True or false? Red hair is an indicator of vampirism in certain Serbian, Bulgarian, and Romanian folktales.
True.
That's true.
Yes.
Poor redheads.
I know they're targeted. No, we need to keep redheads around.
My dad is a redhead.
Oh, that explains it. We got a vampire here.
Yep.
I know. I failed getting the red hair, but I still have my pointy teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have pointy teeth too.
Well, I'm a vampire hunter
too.
Well, Damascus is a vampire too. I'm the only one here who's not. I'm suffering. Still depending on this coffee.
Need to add a little blood into it.
It is true. They are referred to as the children of Judas, based on the legend that Judas Iscariot had red hair and became the first vampire following suicide after betraying Jesus. It is also a folklore link to why silver can hurt vampires and werewolves, as the 30 pieces of silver received became a weapon against them.
Ooh.
That's what the origin of that legend, I suppose.
All right. That's interesting. I was always curious to know where the legend of the silver came. So now I have.
Wow, that's biblical.
Understand.
I didn't realize that was biblical right there. Interesting.
Yep. All right. True or false? Get Out and Us director Jordan Peele is in Hollywood talks to remake the 1972 film Blackula with Kevin Hart as the title character.
That would be fucking awesome.
True.
You're both wrong. I just made that up.
Oh, come on. Yeah. I want that to be true.
So cool. I mean, I know he's doing Candyman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Blackula would have been so fun.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been awesome if he would do it like Dolomite.
Oh, yeah. That would be good.
That would have been good.
Okay. Number 25. Last question. True or false? In 2017, a royal archivist of the British Museum uncovered a lost manuscript attributed to Christopher Marlowe entitled The Vampire of Venice and believed to be one of his final works.
True.
Anyway?
False.
actually false. I made that one up.
Oh, dang it. America lost again. Well, it's not about winning or losing. It's just about having a good time.
Says he with a grudging voice.
It was 18-15 final score, actually.
Oh my God, not even close. I was sleeping on the job. What can I tell you?
Yeah, those last two I just made up. Just like the apocalypse game, the ones that make up are almost better than the ones that are like actual questions.
True.
Man, but that was a good game. That was fun.
Yeah. There are a lot of interesting folklore that I need to research a little bit more for the book 3.
This was a good episode. This was a good time. I know it was early in the morning for me, but I enjoyed this. Villimey, plug your book, your new book coming out again, in case people need to hear it.
Yes. Well, my second book in my Nocturnal series, Nocturnal Farm, will be coming out this Monday on January 27th on Amazon. So it will be available in Kindle form and also as a paperback.
Right.
And you should be delighted to know that it will have illustrations done by our very own Damascus.
Damascus Minspire.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
That is cool. Thank you for letting me do that, by the way, Villimey.
No problem. I can't wait to see what you're going to bring out for the other books.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a very gifted artist. He is. Very
He
talented.
really is. Yeah. I can't wait for him
to
start drawing up the Russian vampire that I have in store for him.
Ooh,
that sounds good.
Yeah. His art's
loves
even
Russian vampire.
I need to get another poster. I need to get a poster of a Monster Party,
Yeah.
Probably take
I'm
down
making
the
progress. Making progress on the Wolfwinter cover too.
Ooh, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
I have very limited space behind me, so I'm gonna have to change out these posters and something. Maybe get them framed or whatever. But cool. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching, I know it's very early, so I kind of doubt. But if you are, press the like button, share, subscribe, and you have a good one. Yeah. Thank you, Villimey. Thank you, Damascus. It's a great show.
Yeah. Always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me again. It's been really fun.
Oh,
yeah.
no problem.